Hello everyone. In today's episode, I'm joined with Shane, and today, me and Shane are going to be talking about different things around autism, bit like being special and school as well. So it's a really good chat. So thanks, Shane, for coming on.
You're very welcome. I appreciate you giving me the chance to come on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good chat because, like we said before, we're going to talk about quite a lot around autism.
Yeah, I'm comfortable talking about almost anything surrounding autism and my additional needs and stuff.
Yeah. Shane, for the people who don't know you, could you do a little introduction of yourself?
Hi, I'm Shane Stonley. I am 25 and I've written a book and I'm also a volunteer at an additional needs school as well, which I absolutely love doing.
Well, that's great. You're helping out at the school as a helper. Like with that, Shane, what is your role to do at the special school?
It's basically I help out for PE coordinator.
Okay, so you're in PE, so you're like support.
Yes. Basically, one thing I want to confirm is that I'm not a big sporty person, although I am also a disability rugby player as well. It's more, basically, I did a work placement with Hull FC, and Hull FC made a video about it. I did a video on me, we did like a mini interview on the video. The special needs school saw that video, and then they asked me to come in. And that's how it started.
Oh, that's awesome! That is you have to show me the clip or the video afterwards or something.
I certainly will. I mean, it's on my phone, so I mean, it's also on my Instagram page as well, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's also on my Instagram page.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because it's good that Hull football club, I presume, are doing stuff like that and they're inclusive because I think I've been speaking to other people about football clubs reaching out and doing stuff more.
Basically, the rugby, it's Hull FC. It's a rugby team. In Hull, we've got two rugby teams. Both have disability teams as part of them. There's Hull FC and Hull KR. I'm part of the Hull FC, and it's called the Learning Disability Rugby League.
Okay, and is rugby always something you've been interested in?
No, actually, I mean, the thing is, I was always quite. The thing is, you see, I used to love play fighting with my little brother and stuff, but besides that, I was always quite soft, and I didn't used to like things that were too boisterous.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not a fan. I don't mind watching it in telly, if England are playing something, but it wouldn't be my thing. I have no clue about all the teams. Like you say, whole KR or something like that. I don't I suppose follow the rugby. But I think it's great that they've you did a thing with them and now they've got you a work placement a special school.
Because they knew that's what I like. Well, the thing is, I found it quite recently. I mean, I think it came about in 2019 that I really found what I wanted to do in life. So up until then, I was undecided about what my purpose was in life. But then I guess I found it, and it just came to me one day that, on a minute, this is what I want to do, and this is what I'm going to work towards.
Yeah.
So Hull FC made it come true, basically.
Yeah, I think it's great, and it's how long have you been doing that work placement for, Shane?
At the special needs school.
Yeah.
It's well, the thing is, I started it in February 2020.
Okay.
And then COVID happened. So basically, I was in the school between February until March 2020. And then I was able to go back in September 2020 until October 2020.
Yeah.
And then I was technically able to go back in September 2021. However, sadly, my mum passed away in August of that year. So sadly, I had to delay myself going back.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that, Shane, because like hard times, like with like still going hard, I suppose, because
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, as I said, I'd finally returned back 2 weeks ago. I went back to Kingsmill 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But I'm there tomorrow, actually.
Ah, so like, is that something you look forward to, like to like go
It's
going?
my favourite thing to do in the week. It's my ultimate favourite thing to do.
Yeah, and is it like
I'm,
only once a week?
Yeah, unfortunately, due to my mentor Martin, due to his his own workload, and due to other volunteers that need availability to go in there and stuff. Yeah, however, they do know that I'm enthusiastic to do more days there, and they are looking into that.
Yeah, I think I think that might be something to look for. Maybe like do 2 days, maybe like
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, certainly we are all looking into that possibility. Yes.
Yeah. And like, what are the hours like that you're there for? Are they quite long?
Basically, I'm there between. It's quite laid back actually, because of course it's a special needs school,
Yeah.
so of course everyone there has some kind of difficulties or disability. So yeah, so I'm there. I get there around 10 to 5 to 9, and I leave at 3 o'clock. I get an hour for lunch, of course, and then we also get quite a long break time as well in the morning.
Yeah, it's good that you get your breaks, because it would be too stressful, I think, otherwise. Like yours, or like you might have a break.
Normally I would say yes, however, in the break. I mean, normally I love breaks. It normally helps me to keep me regulated and keep me calm. However, in this case, I mean, the thing is, every minute I'm, helping out those kids and everything, so basically it just brightens up my day, basically.
Yeah, like it's good that like since 2020-ish, like start pandemic, and then continuing now, it's good you're still doing that. And
Yeah.
like it, yeah, it is, you must get on with the people really well there as well, as you've been there as well.
Admittedly, I do. Yeah. Basically, sometimes during there was a couple of times during the pandemic, but was in particular where my mental health wasn't as good, as I was really missing Kingsmill. So what the kids and the staff did was they sent me cards. Did homemade cards that they made themselves. They sent me those through the post. I had no idea until I received them. And after I did tear up when I received them. So all the cards were saying, "We can't wait to have you back, and we'll see you real soon," and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really close with everyone there, from the staff to the teachers to the kids and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it's good that they've done that, and that's supporting you and everything, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it's hard, isn't it? When you have autism, it's hard to get into even work placements, I think.
Oh God, yeah, I've struggled my whole life with work placements. I've tried God knows how many times.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? And finding something that you like as well.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, I wanted to be a shop assistant, and so I did try and do a couple of work placements surrounding retail. However, it was just I mean, the thing is, every single little thing kept on going wrong, and that was just causing me more and more stress and more anxiety. And the mentors there, the people that were supposed to be helping me, they quite didn't understand why I was getting so upset over these small little things going wrong. So in the end, I decided, for my own mental health and for everyone, that I was going to leave and take some time to find out what exactly I wanted to do in my life.
Yeah, and I think yeah, it's good. Like, and it can be hard sometimes, like as well. And it's good. Like I suppose a good routine for you, like each week. Like all starting to get back into it, as you said, you only gone back 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, I suppose you're looking forward to tomorrow then to go.
But yeah, basically, I'm finding it hard to stay in my chair. I must admit, I am real. I mean, when I, the thing is, when 3 o'clock comes on the Thursday, I wanted it to be 5 to 9 again the next week.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah, 'cause the thing, yeah, 'cause the thing is, admittedly, of course, the thing is, I love being autistic, and I mean, I absolutely do love it. However, I'm just basically, it's easy to kind of feel a bit alone at times, if you know what I mean. It's like a neurotypical world, as it would say.
mm,
So the fact going about school and most of the people in there are like me and have some kind of disability or autism or something. In fact, autism is one of the main disabilities of the school, I've been told. Um, oh, that's amazing, thank you.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's good. Like Shane, that like how supportive they are, and like with you, with autism, and because like let me go into like a bit about your autism. Or in school, did you go to a special school yourself, or
Um, Knox back when I was growing up, my parents did attempt to get me assessed for autism when I was younger, when I was about 5. However, because I played with a toy teacup, I couldn't be autistic.
oh,
So, but luckily I had other difficulties back then, some of them physical disabilities. So I was able to at least get some of the support that I needed back in primary school, especially. I had like one-to-one support.
yeah,
I got diagnosed as an adult in 2019, I believe it was, in January 2019.
okay, so not long ago, really.
Nah, not long ago at all. It took the assessor like 2 hours to find if I was autistic and be achieving. Basically, the lady assessor, she said that I was one of her easiest cases to diagnose, and it was ridiculous I had been diagnosed before then.
Yeah, yeah,
She actually said that it does well, so I was quite surprised when she said that. I was quite surprised to read in the report as well, because whilst I knew I had difficulties, it's quite. I mean, there was a bit of denial initially at first, but then when I actually, I've kind of accepted that I have autism, and I've accepted that I will always have difficulties of some kind, and I've accepted that I'll always need support, but that doesn't. But the thing is, I always try and keep my personality the same, as in, like, I always try and be kind to people. I always try and remain honest where possible, and stuff like that.
yeah. I think that's good. Like because we could all hide our autism, I suppose, if we wanted to.
Yeah,
Like I did at some point. I didn't want to
yeah,
talk
it's
about
called
it.
masking, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, and it's hard. Like you don't want to talk about it sometimes, and like
Yeah.
because it is hard to explain, isn't it? Like, autism.
Uh, uh, um, it isn't,
Mm.
because the thing is, it's easy to explain, but it isn't easy to get other people to necessarily understand
Yeah,
what you mean, if you know what I mean. So,
yeah,
for example, for people to get people to accept or understand, because you can explain all you want about autism and about why you feel you need these things, but to get people to understand, or to get people to admit that you need that support and those adjustments, is really hard and really difficult at times. Luckily, most of my family and all my friends are really supportive of me, and they're all like my rock. I don't know where I'd be without any of them, if I'm being honest.
yeah, yeah. It's good that you have a good support system, Shane, because and that does really help you. Um, and I suppose talking about it, and um, like when I was younger, not many people were getting diagnosed as an adult. I found
Yeah,
like because I was diagnosed at 2009, and I'd have been 9 at that time. So not many people most people my age were getting diagnosed with being autism. So like
Can I ask whereabouts are you based? I forgot.
I'm based in Essex. I am
Oh, Essex.
Essex.
It
Yeah,
might be. As I said, obviously, I don't know what the situation was down there around the time when I was growing up, but in Hull, the diagnostic and the assessments were like really biased. As in, like basically, if you played, you could be autistic, and of course, that was complete and utter bull. But
yeah.
yeah.
I think the signs for me being autistic was when I did like a car map, and I was like lining all the cars up like in order
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
did
like that.
that. One of my biggest signs was, of course, I had a lot of meltdowns growing up, and also like I had difficulty in socializing and maintaining relationships.
Yeah,
My main autistic trait back then. I, I, I played, but I didn't play in the way that things were meant to be played with, if you know what I mean. I played with things differently.
yeah,
And that was another thing that made my parents think that I could be autistic. And as it turns out, they were right, even if it came a bit late, even if it was found out late on, they was right.
yeah, yeah. Like is it? I find it really interesting about hearing about different people that get diagnosed as an adult, because you think like I think if people who are adults think that as well. Like, what would it be like if it was the opposite? Like, if you, Sean, got diagnosed as younger and I got diagnosed as an adult, how would that be?
The thing is, the thing is, when I got diagnosed, there was a bit of denial of. In fact, it was more belief than anything, but there was also a bit of anger as well. The
Yeah,
fact that if I'd gotten that diagnosis as a child, then I might have, because basically I've had to go through like a lot of therapies and I've had to go through like a lot of like counselling and a lot of I've had to go through a lot of counselling, and also like my friends and family have helped me to kind of like get to a position where I can basically function enough to like be independent enough, for example, to come here by myself and stuff.
yeah,
When I was 18 or something, I wouldn't have been able to come here. I wouldn't have been able to come here by myself. But thanks to like the help of like family and friends, and like basically I did have some support, like for example from connections and from youth services, but nothing surrounding autism and nothing surrounding a diagnosis or anything. Basically it was fobbed on to like people who, for example, there's this development project in Hull called Cat Zero,
okay,
and they've been having to fill in like with the support that autism services should have been providing.
yeah, yeah. Like, I think it's good when you have like organizations like teams, like sport teams, and
Yeah,
like helping out around your local area, because I speak to Ipswich, it's quite local to me, and
yeah.
I've been to Hull before actually, Shane.
Have you been
Uh,
to Hull? Where did you
yeah,
go in Hull?
I went because I support Ipswich as well, like Ipswich football, and I went to see Ipswich Hull. For it was I wasn't known to go to Hull. It was a surprise. So
Was it? What was it at the KCON? Was it at a big stadium or was it quite run down?
it was at the KCOM, and it was a
KC.
few years ago, either 2020. No, it would have been 2019, I think.
Yeah, it would have been called
Yeah,
KCON back then, I
yeah,
would have thought.
yeah. Is they changed the name now, have they?
It's now called the MKM Stadium now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically they keep on changing it every so often. I've got no idea why, but keep on
Yeah,
changing it. The thing is, it was called a KC Stadium, then they turned it into KCOM Stadium, and now it's called the MKM Stadium now.
that that is odd.
Yeah,
because
very odd.
not
But
because
this is all we're talking about. Basically, we keep on changing the name of things all the time here. We used to have Trinity Church, but now then it became Trinity Minster, then it became Hull Minster. There was Bonus Arena, which then became Hull Arena. and I think it's now Colito or whatever you call it, Arena now. Hull just keeps on changing the name of things, and it does get very confusing, especially for
Yeah.
people with autism like me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that will get very confusing to keep changing their name because,
Yeah.
for Ipswich, they've never really changed it. It's always called Portman Road. And
Yeah.
it's always been that, and but
Is it on Portman Road? Is that why it's called that? Is it on Portman Road?
yeah, that's it.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is on Portman.
yeah. Like you go past the sign called Portman Road, and they even have Portman pies inside. They call them Portman pies. Like if you go there, but the thing is really confusing is now you say that's the name of the whole stadium now, because Milton Keynes Dons is called Stadium MK. So they could easily get confused a little bit, those two clubs between the stadiums.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The thing is, luckily, Hull City. I mean, I used to support them, but then I kind of stopped after their owners decided to throw a temper tantrum. Basically, they did a survey to the people of Hull about a name change. The people of Hull rejected it. So then the Allams decided to throw a temper tantrum and basically destroy the team. Just because the people of Hull, didn't want to change the name.
You should just keep it the same all the time, really. Unless they move stadium, like I don't, if they've moved somewhere else in Hull, that isn't the reason why they possibly can change their name. But if they're just doing it willy nilly,
well, what they wanted to call it Hull Tigers, because of course Hull City's mascot is Rory the Tiger. I think his name's Rory anyway. I'd be a bit embarrassed if it wasn't, but it's Rory the Tiger. So they wanted to call it Hull Tigers. But the majority of Hull, as a city, wanted to keep the city in it. Because it's like our identity kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, back to all football politics. I mean, I don't attend football politics too much, but of course it was in the news a lot. And so, yeah.
Yeah, and when I did go, it wasn't enjoyable because Ipswich lost. Hull scored straight away.
All I can say is if Ipswich were playing them now, they'd definitely win.
Yeah, Ipswich are doing quite well.
Hull isn't doing too well from what I've heard. Hull City, hopefully since they've sold the club now, hopefully the new owners will hopefully breathe some new life into it. So hopefully we can start rebuilding.
Yeah. I'd say Ipswich are doing good. Like they've been in the third tier for a while, but they will do better because they've got a good manager now, and they've got new owners as well. That they got new owners last year, which are changing the club quite good, and not just like the team, and just things around the stadium, like making them better and stuff. I spoke to a person that works at Ipswich, and I was saying about a sensory room. Like having a sensory room at Ipswich would be a good idea.
Yeah, that's something I want to ask. Is Ipswich? Is Ipswich quite understanding and accommodating of additional needs and special needs and disabilities? Would you say?
I would say because they have a football club team, like they have like a fan zone where they do different activities with the people, and they go on match days, and they are very supporting, and having a sensory room, like having an additional sensory rooms in there, will make it better. And, because at the moment I have a season ticket, but I don't go because
I've never been to a proper sports match either. I mean the thing. Well, the thing is for the first time will be most likely at Magic Weekend. Apparently the our LDSL, LDRL, we're going to be Magic Weekend or something. So that will be quite interesting.
Yeah. I did go to. I enjoyed the away games. I haven't gone to many, and the reason I don't go now is mostly because of COVID and restrictions and stuff. I'm quite vulnerable anyway, so that's why I say a sensory room is good for those people that are uncomfortable going to the games. If people are not, if it's like a small one or something, or a good size, but yeah, like would you say Hull are like with people with special needs?
I don't really know about the stadium as much. I mean, we did have a bit of a tour, and I don't believe that there is any. I don't know if there is any sensory rooms in there. But if I'm being quite honest, I would be surprised if there wasn't, due to like how Hull FC acts. Hull FC share the stadium with Hull City, the football team.
Okay.
The city as a whole of Hull, I'd say the majority of places in Hull are quite accommodating, and they all try to like make accommodations for people with autism and autistic people and people with disabilities, basically.
Yeah, I think it's good, and like I think more stadiums, not just stadiums, more places and different cities, towns should be inclusive, I suppose. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah, so one of the most. I mean, Driffield were a volunteer at Driffield from most of the places where I've been in, even if it's just provided a bit of extra time and stuff, or a bit of like, or if it's just like talking to try to understand like your needs and stuff. Driffield's like a really accommodating town and stuff. So I'd say it is getting better as accommodations for like people with disabilities. However, there's still a long way to go, I'd say.
yeah, I agree. Like things like for special schools and mainstreams, like there should be like I suppose no like names for them, like really, and it should be just called school, and people should be understanding and understand about autism, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The thing is, the main struggle, of course, with because I agree to a degree. Basically, the thing is, the reason why special schools or additional needs schools are needed is because it's also, for example, like at the school I volunteer at, some of the kids like need 2-to-1 support or need 3-to-1 support. And of
Yeah.
course, in the mainstream, of course, in a like a mainstream school, of course, that wouldn't necessarily be possible.
No, no.
So
I remember the
yeah,
experience between the both because I went to mainstream, then went to special school, and like I don't know if things have changed. I wouldn't have thought so, but yeah, like, everyone's different, I suppose. Every mainstream school and every special school is a different experience, I think, because there's different ones, and the mainstream was not really supportive, and I suppose that's why I was masking at my autism there.
me, yeah, yeah. What I would say is, I'd say my primary school, it was mostly good. It was mostly great. Stepney Primary. My high school I went to was one of the roughest in Hull, but sadly, due to my family's financial situation back then wasn't good. So they couldn't afford bus fare or anything. So they had to send me to that school anyway. It was Endeavour High School, and it was known as like one of the roughest schools in Hull. Um, the support in year 7 was quite good. I had like one-to-ones and stuff. But then Endeavour's philosophy was more standing up for yourself, independence and stuff, even if that isn't possible. So yeah. When I was in year 7, I was quite confident, as I would say. But thanks to Endeavour, I became timid.
Okay. Yeah.
And like the support that I needed kept on getting withdrawn and stuff. Sometimes without my mum's permission and stuff. Sometimes without my parents' permission, which of course made them very mad. But yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Like it's hard to ask for help, I think, like when you need it.
But that's the thing, we was asking for help. But that's the thing, Endeavour was refusing to provide it, and so went the local authority. I had a statement of educational needs, but Endeavour was basically refusing to honour it, basically.
That's not on, is it? Like them
No,
doing
it
that.
wasn't.
No, because
No.
I have one as well. Like I have a EHCP, I have all the stuff on there and stuff, and uh, like I've been in similar situations. There has been times where I have asked for help, but I've had the courage to do it, and nothing would do.
Yeah,
They would either say try again, or like to do it again and you'll get it next time, or something like that. So they don't actually offer the help that you need sometimes.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, certainly. So the reason why they removed the support is because I was academically smart. Because the thing is, I loved maths. In fact, I still like maths. But because I was good at it, they determined that I didn't need support. Whereas the support I needed, it was more socially, my concentration and focus and stuff like that. My focus and my concentration weren't good at all. But just because I could basically get answers right, they determined I didn't need any support, which of course was wrong.
Yeah, that's very wrong.
They really need to look at more than just academic support. They need to look at like what other support they can provide for people with autism as well and stuff, and for autistic people.
Yeah, it needs to be improved, doesn't it? Like the system.
It really does, yeah.
Yeah, because like even we shouldn't be needing to ask for help anyway. As such, like some teachers should notice if you're struggling without saying anything, I think, as well.
Yeah. 'Cause if I'm being quite honest, it's kind of a teacher's job to notice, like if we are struggling. For example, my tutor at Endeavour, his name's Jeff Keane or Mr. Keane. He's an artist in Hull, and he could always notice when I was struggling. He always knew when I was, and incidentally, after he left Endeavour, he actually became a teaching assistant for kids with additional needs.
Yeah,
After dealing with me, he then went on to do that. So I have an idea him dealing with me might have inspired to go on and do that. Because, yeah, if I'm being quite honest, I'm very happy that he went ahead and made that change, and became a teaching assistant with additional needs. Because if I'm being quite honest, he was one of the most disability conscious people in that school. And I do owe a lot to Mr. Keane, I really do.
yeah, it's good to have people like that, and like there's always in schools, there's always to be that one person.
Yeah. He was always like my inspiration in my walk-up school. He'd always like protect me from bullies. He would protect me from like being singled out by staff who didn't understand my difficulties. He'd do a lot with Mr. Keane, and like I said, basically, if it wasn't for Mr. Keane, I would be dead. Because if it wasn't for him, I would have probably done myself in. In fact, I did make attempts, but it was through talking to him and through talking to my family and my friends that kind of got me out of it.
Yeah,
That got me out of that mindset.
yeah. It's good that you did, because like it is good, because, and it's also good you have like a teacher who inspires you to like to talk to him about maybe certain stuff that you wouldn't talk about to other members of staff.
Oh, certainly. So, basically what I do is, you see, when I go to a new place, especially like a new educational place or something, I tend to find one person that I relate to kind of not latch on, but one person to kind of connect more to. So that if I do ever feel uneasy about something, I can go to them and speak to them about anything. Like, for example, at Cat Zero, it was Gail and Neil at Hull FC. At Hull FC, the differences at Hull FC is I found immediately that I could talk to any of them about anything, basically. There wasn't just one person there that I felt comfortable talking to.
Yeah,
I found everyone comfortable talking to from the off.
yeah. I think.
But especially Matty and Bradley, who are like the LDRL coaches. They're absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's good. Like it's good that like when I was at school, especially my special school, I always had someone to go to. Like it's normally my form tutor who I went, and I had her during the last 2 years. And I'll say the last 2 years of school were probably the best ones. Other than like I moved on. I was in mainstream for year 7, so kind of year 8, and then the teacher I had year 8 left that year. Or the year she had me. So I had her for a year. Then she went, I think, to Spain or somewhere else to do teaching. And then
Nice for some.
and then in year 9, I had an art teacher. I think they were.
Did he say an art teacher?
Yeah, I had an art teacher. Yeah,
Mine was an art teacher as well. My mentor was an art teacher there. He was an art teacher.
Yeah, and like she, like I literally only had girls form tutors. I think I didn't really have like there were I enjoyed maths at school and stuff. I did
Yeah,
maths and stuff.
yeah, yeah. The thing is, Mr. Keeney left in quite early year 11, I believe he left. And basically he kind of disappeared one day due to like school politics and stuff. From I don't know if I can actually say what I've been told due to like legal things, but basically one thing I do know is that the school wasn't too happy with some of the teachers supporting me, kind of thing.
Hmm.
They kind of felt like I should be made to like stand on my own 2 feet, even if that wasn't possible. So of course, then they went after those teachers that was supporting me, and of course, Mr. Keane was the main one that was doing so. So of course, when Mr. Keane's replacement came about, of course, I wasn't very happy. Yeah, and let's just say she knew I wasn't very happy.
No. Yeah, it's not nice, is it?
It's change. It's change for me is one of the hardest things in the world, especially changes that happen suddenly. Like I mean, if it changes like a month in advance, then I can make it a bit easier on myself. But if a change just happens like that, like that did, then
like it's like
it gets really hard on me.
lots of things have changed though, isn't it? Like with schedules and routines. So it's becoming more common, like change and have to change certain things.
You certainly so, and I mean Kingsmill's helping me with that as well. Like for example, as you said about the routine, Kingsmill is for example, they have kind of like given me like kind of my own like little jobs to do that I do every week and stuff to kind of like help me feel more like part of the Kingsmill family.
Yeah, it's good. Like you have like your own like thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Like, is there one thing that you really enjoy doing and like at like the special school when you go to do it?
Is there one thing that I like more than anything?
Yeah, it's one thing more like anything.
I'm gonna say yes, and chances are the people at Kingsmill, especially Martin and the setting class, will know what that is. However, the thing is, of course, in a school, you're not really meant. I wouldn't say it's favoritism. However, you're not really meant to have a class that you have a bigger connection with, really, yeah. However, sometimes you can't really help it.
Yeah, I think when teachers say they don't have a favourite like student or something like that. I think that everyone does secretly. It's a bit like that.
Yeah, because that's easily not true. Because there's always like one student that. Yeah. For example, with me, I don't have a favourite pupil. I don't have a favourite student, and I'm saying that truthfully. But I do have a favourite class there. Obviously, I'm not going to name that class. However, I do have a favourite class there, and to be with them is absolutely amazing. And in fact, I love most of the classes there, but there's one that I love just a tiny bit more than the rest, if you know what I mean. And that's mostly because most of those in that class have autism and ADHD, which I'm currently getting assessed for myself, ADHD. And I found myself having more things in common and having more of a connection with that class than I do like the other classes and stuff. That's the reason why I feel I have a bigger connection with them.
Yeah, that's good. It's like us in school. Like you had that teacher that was probably your favourite as well. That you was.
Definitely. I mean, as I said, Mr. Keeney was definitely my favourite teacher, and everyone knew it.
Yeah, and I had mine like form tutor like the last 2 years, which is good, and it's sad to I suppose leave, but you have to like we said, we don't like change, do we?
Nah, but as I said, everything changes sooner or later, unfortunately. the thing is, I still see my school tutor. I still see him, my mentor, Mr. Keane. I still see him occasionally, and I've got him on Facebook and everything. But the thing is, you see, we try and like kind of lead separate lives now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which of course is understandable. And the thing is, I don't want to be. Because the thing is that when I was seeing him every day, of course, he did get a bit attached to him. Not literally attached, but basically, I think that's kind of what made it hard when he left. The fact that I like put so much trust and so much of like my feelings into him and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Shane, like because like you was diagnosed in 2019, what made you like, I suppose, to start talking about it like publicly to other people, do you think?
A bit. Basically, it was I actually started to think about it in 2013, 2014, around that area, because that's what I found out on my statement. It said emotional behavioural disorder. That's what it said on my school statement. Emotional behavioural disorder, or EBD. And around that time, that's when I found out about autistic or autistic spectrum disorder, autism, or whatever you want to call it. Autistic spectrum disorder, it comes under EBD. EBD is like an umbrella that they used back then to kind of pawn people off, like kind of fob people off in order to try and get out of giving them a proper diagnosis. So of course I had to do a lot of research on how to get a diagnosis. So yeah, it took quite a long time.
Yeah, it's good. Eventually, eventually you got that diagnosis, and after that, it would take time. I think anything that you get diagnosed with, it takes time to understand it, accept it a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, for example, I carry my diagnosis letter all around with me. So I sometimes read it every so often, just to like, like kind of remind myself that, because the thing is, sometimes I'm still getting a bit of denial. For example, like when I go out sometimes, and like my friends and family are saying, "Oh, a minute, you shouldn't have done that because that could have put you in extra danger because you have a lot of danger awareness." And I'm like, "Oh, a minute, I'm 25. Like so over 25-year-olds are doing it." And that's when they kind of have to sit down and remind me that I'm not, and like that I'm not. I'm 25, but I have got a lower danger awareness. And that I have got to be more careful and others and stuff, and I have got to look out for myself, and I have got to let others look after me as well, basically.
Yeah, I'm the same with like especially when I was younger, about like the danger and stuff.
One thing I do have to do is I do have to give two big shout outs to one of them's to Becky, and that's basically I've known her since I was about 5, and she's more like a little big sister to me. And the other one's my non-biological brother, Stephen. They're both like really good friends of mine, and they both like sacrificed a lot in order to be my friend, in order to help me be the person who I am today.
Yeah, I think that's good. Like especially like mentioning them and saying how well they've supported you, through life as well.
Yeah, one thing I do have to say is, I mean, things I've had a lot of support in my life. However, of course, the main person who's there is my dad, who I currently live with. Because of course, I can't live independently. I can't use a cooker. I can't use a wash machine. I can't even tie shoelaces or ride a bike. So my dad basically looks after me, and he's now 75.
Okay.
So basically, I mean, my dad, he's the best person in the world, basically. And I mean, my mum the thing is, my mum was amazing as well, don't get me wrong. However, my mum found it like because of course, as I got older and as I got bigger, of course, my meltdowns became more difficult to handle. My mum was quite small.
Okay.
And my dad's quite bigger. So she, in the end, had to, it almost killed her to do it, but in the end, she did have to ask my dad to have me full time because my dad was able to control me a bit better and was able to like calm me down and restrain me to stop me from hurting myself and others and stuff.
Like
And I mean, but yeah.
it's good that you have your dad and like he supports you still. Like it's
Yeah.
always good you have that,
Really
Shane.
good, yeah.
Like but I wanted to ask Shane, like if you could tell me and tell other people about your book. Like I remember you said you had a book at the beginning.
Yeah. Basically, my book is called Relate. It's basically a book about an older teen and a boyfriend and their brothers, and it's about their lives colliding. I get a brother quite late on in my childhood, but not through adoption as such. It was through basically I have. In 2014, my mum gave birth to my youngest brother. And of course, I was 17, around the same age as the character in the book. So that could have been a bit of an inspiration from it. I started writing it in like 2016, 2017. I initially released it in 2018, but then I re-released it in 2020 with corrections made and stuff, and with a new and improved front cover.
Yeah, it must be hard work though, like having a book and like writing it or like having the words to it.
It was really hard. Yeah, I mean my friends and my family helped a lot with that, and so did Cat Zero. And my brother's name is Billy, as I said. So just because I want to see him smile when he hears that I mention his name, because we are really close, even if we don't get to see each other a lot. We're really close when we are together. In fact, I don't know if I can say what I was going to say, so I'm going to stop myself. But yeah, there is. All I'm going to say is they are suspecting that there is something about Billy. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
That's all I feel like I can say, I believe.
Yeah, like
Obviously, I don't want to get into trouble.
Yeah, how long ago was is your book quite recent, or has it been out for a while?
It was initially released in 2018.
Okay.
However, the current version's been released in 2020, since 2020. The old version, there was like a lot of mistakes in it that me or other people hadn't noticed, and it was quite embarrassing. So of course I re-released it with those errors corrected. Some of them included factual errors and stuff, which obviously I had to get fixed.
Yeah. I think that's really good. You have to show me the book, like or something.
Yes, I'm more than happy to send you a copy if you're okay with that. I'm more than happy to send you a copy.
Yeah, I'd love that, Shane. That'd be great. And before we go, if you could just say some advice to other people about having autism, and maybe as an adult, like how that was for you, maybe.
That's kind of an hard one. The thing is, the thing is, I can say however much I want. I can say, oh, there's no need to feel like bad. There's no need to be in denial. I mean, but of course, the thing is, I felt those things myself. Of course, I have. I feel like bad sometimes. However, the important thing to remember is that we are very nice, good people normally, and that we do have a place in this world, even if it takes longer for us to find that place and that purpose. It's important to remember that we do have one, and that we've just got to find it. So my advice would be to work with others to find out what your purpose is, and to find out where your place is in this world. Yeah,
I think that you put that really well there, Shane, because you're completely right, and we spoke about some important things today, and hopefully the system does change in the future with all the work we're doing to raise awareness. Yeah, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, thank you again, Shane, and it's been a really nice chat.
You're very welcome, mate, and thanks so much again for having me, and thanks so much for letting me come and help you to raise some awareness on autism.
Yeah, thank you.